Time Chronicles. Time Runners. The Senate Building. Rome, 44 BC. Rome didn't have a king. Instead, Roman citizens voted for two councils of leaders called the Assembly and the Senate. It was their job to discuss important issues and make laws. Chapter 1. Chip couldn't sleep. Living in the time vault was exciting enough. But now they had started training to fight the Virens. There was so much to learn as well. With a sigh, he sat up and flicked a switch. The lights in his sleeping pod glowed. He picked up his training manual and began to read. As he read, Chip held the communication link in his hand. He couldn't wait to use it for real. He couldn't wait to become a time runner. Chapter 2. The day's training began in the laboratory. "You look half asleep," said Nina as Chip shuffled in, late. "At least he's got up," said Wilf, closing his locker. "Tyler must still be in bed." At that moment, the door burst open. It was Mortlock. Behind him, something zoomed into the room. "Tyler," everyone gasped. "And his new techno chair," announced Mortlock. Tyler turned suddenly and then skidded to a stop. "Do you like it?" he grinned. "Mortlock built it. Now I'll be able to do anything you lot can." "And a lot more," smiled Mortlock. "Impressive," said Nadim. Everyone gathered around Tyler. Chip looked at the control panels on the chair. "What does this one do?" he asked, pushing one of the buttons. "No," yelled Tyler. But it was too late. Tyler shot backwards and slammed into the lockers. Immediately, the chair lurched forward. "Whoa," giggled Tyler. "Stop." They all laughed at the sight of Tyler zipping wildly across the laboratory. But suddenly the laughing stopped. Tyler was heading straight for the vat where the captured Virens were held. They held their breath as he plowed into the side of the vat with a loud crash. The glass vat shuddered. The black matter stirred, sparking and hissing angrily inside the glass chamber. Everyone rushed to help Tyler. "Even behind the glass, those Virens are scary," Tyler said in a shaky voice. The vat slowly settled with a quiet hiss. Mortlock quickly checked it. "It seems all right," he said. "No harm done. But we must be careful near the vat." Chapter 3. The training carried on all day. There was a lot to learn about the link. As he listened, Nadim flicked up the secret lid and studied the tiny screen and keyboard. But Tyler couldn't concentrate. He tried to listen to Mortlock, but something was bothering him. He kept thinking about the Virens and how frightening they were. Finally Mortlock said, "So remember, with the link you'll be able to talk to the Time Vault when you are on a mission. The link also sends and receives text downloads." He looked around the room. "Any questions?" Tyler put up his hand. "I'm worried. We can't use the link to protect ourselves against Virens, can we?" he asked. "We've been lucky so far, but we won't always be." The others agreed. "Yeah," said Nadim. "I mean, how are we supposed to trap them and bring them back?" Mortlock nodded thoughtfully. "It's time to show you," he said. "Let's go." No one had noticed, but all this time the Viren vat had continued to hiss quietly. Something was not right. Chapter 4. Everyone followed Mortlock into the library. At the far end, he stopped and pulled a large book away from the shelf. Immediately, the whole bookcase juddered, and then slid inwards like giant doors. Beyond the bookcase was a dark space. Mortlock stepped into the darkness. Lights blinked on to reveal a large room. The bookcase doors closed behind them. "This is the control center," said Mortlock. In the center of the space, on a desk, was the time web. Its massive glowing threads shimmered gently. In front of it was the matrix, and beside it was a globe that glowed with a faint light. Mortlock pointed at the open tubes that dropped into the space. They were chutes. He explained that they were connected to the sleeping pods. "With these, you can get here in seconds," smiled Mortlock. "So that's what the chutes are," grinned Wilma. "Cool!" Next, Mortlock slid open a drawer in the desk. He took out a silver ball and held it up. "This is a zap trap," he said. "They are used to catch Virans." Mortlock began to explain how they worked. But Chip's mind wandered. It had been a long day. Sleep, the thought of it made him yawn. Mortlock stopped talking. He smiled at Chip. "Perhaps we should all get some rest. It's been a long day."